I'm not sure how old I was when I first moved to Fort St. John, but I know the first thing that I did when I got here was start preschool. You see, the first day at preschool, it was nap time, and I, had a habit that a lot of kids have at that age, and I picked my nose. And that day, when I picked my nose, it started to bleed. But thankfully, I freaked out about it, ran up to the teacher ladies, and they calmed me down, made it stop, and they gave me a sucker. And then the next day, it was nap time, and I picked my nose, and it bled, and I ran up to the teacher lady, and they fixed it, and they gave me another sucker. So I think where this is going. I picked my nose until it bled every day. That's gross, but I also got a sucker every single day. They knew what I was doing. They obviously, every nap time, my nose bleeding, that wasn't because the darkness was beating me up. It was because they were scared of my mom yelling at them, so they never said anything about it, and I got suckers every day. I ate them instead of selling them, but you know what, I can only be so much of a con artist at the age of 3.5, so. The real start to my education was here at Port Ambrose Elementary. In kindergarten, the very first day, I was, of course, late. Thankfully though, there wasn't a teacher to get mad at me greeting me at the door. It was a kid my age named Colin who said, and quote, "Do you want to be best friends?" And so we were, for the most part, and to this day still are. We would come out every recess and play on the swings and get so lost in our own little world that long after the bell had rang and we didn't notice, the teacher would have to come out looking for us. She would also claim that it was all on purpose, and I can't honestly remember if it was or not, but I remember not caring. Next up was middle school, which didn't exactly have many highlights. I'd say probably the only one was that time we started a fight club, but under the advice of my lawyer, I would like to make it very clear, and in no uncertain terms state, that I was not a part of any Kearney Fight Club that may or may not have existed. And I mean, even if I was, it wouldn't have been a big deal. I mean, we didn't get punished for it anyway. I mean, they didn't get punished for it anyways. It was around high school, though, that I started to notice that kids my age, a lot of them didn't really like Fort St. John. I think it has a lot of flaws as a city. I think it's not a good fit for everybody, but the people it is a good fit for, certainly, they find a lot of success here. And it took a bit of looking, but I went out of my way and I finally found somebody who thinks Fort St. John has the same amount of potential, at the very least, that I think it does.
My name is Lori Ackerman, and I'm the mayor of the city of Fort St. John.
Well, thank you very much. The question is that as somebody who travels a lot, you are doing a lot of representation of our community, be it at the national level, at a local level. So I was wondering if you had any advice for somebody who wants to represent Fort St. John authentically, and as a question for you, if there's anything particular about Fort St. John you would like me to represent overseas.
Yeah, Fort St. John is a community that has really had to grow up by itself. I remember my father saying to me one time, "Honey, you're moving to the region furthest away from Ottawa and furthest away from Victoria." And so you'll know that we have that get it done attitude. If something needs to be done, people will rally. You've seen it in the Rotary clubs. I've often said that Rotarians didn't invent volunteerism, but they perfected it.
That's very
right. And so when I think of Fort St. John and how we rise to the top with other communities, there is still that that whole culture of helping out your neighbors. And for an entire winter, my husband snowblowed our driveway and two of our neighbors' driveways because one of the old fellows had fallen and hurt his hip. and the other one had had a workplace accident. And so it's about not even asking if you need help, just giving a hand.
Sure.
You know, stopping and changing a tire and stuff like that. So Fort St. John has kind of grown up without the assistance of a lot of outside help. And so we have really tried to create a community that provides safety and security, to provide the opportunity for people to excel in their careers, for people to actually achieve what their dreams are for the community.
So what's the point of all this? Well, the point is that Fort St. John, as much as a lot of us complain about, it isn't all bad. You know, I know I've done my share of whinging and moaning, but as excited as I am to take off to Italy, I'm also a little sad. I'm also leaving my home behind, and I know that as happy as I am to take off, I know I'll also be happy when time comes to head on back. So now, besides a short 6-hour layover here in Vancouver, my time in Canada is at a close. See you on the other side. Set up.
My brother hacked us.
Nice to meet you.
My name's Shane. Yeah, I already have my YouTube channel.
What's your channel? Oh, you subscribe to mine. I gotta subscribe to yours. Save for the camera. Oh, my camera fell. All right.
Chase them.